Good evening. You're with the Newshour Agenda. I'm Madhavdas G. Now, ever since the allegations related to liquor scam came to the fore, the Delhi government's go-to defense has been that they've been targeted because the BJP is jealous of their performance. Questioning the timing of the CBI raids on Delhi Deputy Chief Minister and Education Minister Manish Sisodia, they've waved a New York Times copy. Arvind Kejriwal said the centre was jealous of its education model and had therefore unleashed what he said were agencies who work at its behest on them. But today, the AAP's flagship scheme may have come in for a severe attack. In a letter to the Chief Secretary, Delhi's LG V.K. Saxena cited a CVC report that red-flagged irregularities in the construction of classrooms in the Delhi government schools. He's asked why 2.5 years since the report highlighted illegalities, no action was taken by Delhi's Vigilance Department in the matter. So what did the report say? The 2020 Chief Vigilance Commissioner's report has highlighted the cost of construction of classrooms escalated by 326 crore rupees when compared to what was stated in the original tender. It also says that the lesser number of classrooms were built than what was claimed by the AAP government. The report also underlined the quality issues in the execution of work and said that a construction in 5 schools which cost rupees 42.5 crores was never in the revamp plan itself. Now, these allegations have brought to light the report highlighted by the Delhi LG and have put the AAP government in a tight spot, and that armed the opposition with fresh ammunition to target them. An embattled Delhi Chief Minister has retorted, blaming all attacks on the fact that his party is being seen as a challenger in the upcoming Gujarat elections.
शराब स्कैम में आम आदमी पार्टी का चेहरा बेनकाब हुआ है, ऊपर से नीचे तक भ्रष्टाचार में डूबी हुई है और मोनीश शराब स्कैम मिनिस्टर जो पाठशाला की बात तो करते हैं, खोलते नहीं, मधुशाला जगह जगह खोलने का काम करते हैं, जवाब कोई देते नहीं है। 5 दिन बीत गए, एक का भी जवाब नहीं दे पाए क्योंकि घोटाले पर इनके पास जवाब कोई नहीं।
एलजी साहब ने अब स्कूलों पे भी इंक्वायरी शुरू कर दी, तो कह रहे हैं भाई स्कूलों के बेसिकली तो रोकना है, स्कूल रुक जाएं, अस्पताल रुक जाएं, जितने अच्छे काम हो रहे हैं वो रुक जाएं। तो सब कह रहे हैं ये गुजरात की वजह से हो रहा है। गुजरात में जैसे जैसे हमारा ग्राफ बढ़ता जा रहा है, पागलपन छाया हुआ गुजरात में। अगर आज हम गुजरात चुनाव अनाउंस कर देना भाई गुजरात चुनाव हम नहीं लड़ेंगे, ये सारी इंक्वायरी बंद हो जाएगी, सारी ईडी बंद, सीबीआई बंद, सब खत्म। उसी की वजह से हो रहा है ये।
You're watching the News Hour at 10, debate number 1 on Times Now, Super Prime Time.
And for more on this, I'm joined by our guest, Sanju Verma, the national spokesperson of the BJP. Karan Verma, author, is with us. We also have with us Dr. Sumnath Raman, political analyst. Akashdeep Buni, AAP sympathizer, is with us. With us also is Professor D.K. Giri. Let me begin with Sumnath Raman. Sumnath Raman, there are some very, very serious charges in this CVC's report. The biggest question, though, which the LG has pointed out and which certainly begs an answer from the Aam Aadmi Party, and there's no direct answer coming in, is why has the AAP government been sitting on it for 2.5 years? Why no action yet?
Madhav, I think you're not aware that this matter was sent to the ACB in July 2019. And since then, what's been happening? You've got to find out from the ACB what has been happening for the last 3 years. Look, everyone is quite clear that
how can a report of 2020 be sent in the year 2019 to ACB? We are talking about a report that came out in the year 2020.
Not the report. 1 second.
No, my question is on the report. Please don't divert the question. Simple question. I'm quoting the LG's reply, sir. I'm quoting the LG's letter. It says for 2.5 years, the 2020 report of CVC has been gathering dust with the Delhi government. Simple question to you. Leave alone what was referred earlier to ACB. Why is the CVC report still with Delhi government and what action has been taken on it? Simple question.
No. Sir, 1 minute. 3 BJP members had earlier lodged a complaint. On the basis of this complaint, this matter was referred to the ACB in 2019. Nothing prevented the ACB between 2019 and 2022, irrespective of the report of 2020, from investigating and taking action. What has been done in 3 years? Nothing has been done in 3 years because there is nothing to investigate.
Sir, when there is a CVC inquiry that is underway, CVC, which is, by the way, supposed to be the moral guiding light of the CBI, when there's a CVC report, why not act on it? How can you just put the blame at the doorstep of ACB?
Mr. Kejriwal is on record. Mr. Kejriwal is also on record as saying even the CBI has seen some of these files related to this issue and they have found nothing. Now the point is, the facts speak for themselves.
They found nothing, really.
Nothing has prevented all the agencies of the central government. No, see, that is what Mr. Kejriwal says. Look, 3 years have gone by. No action has been taken. Gujarat elections come. Aam Aadmi Party starts to make an impact. Mr. Sisodia is now pinned down.
Let Sanju Verma respond to that. Sanju Verma, Sumnath Raman is echoing what Arvind Kejriwal said earlier today, that this is all happening because of Gujarat, because of the traction that Aam Aadmi Party is getting there, and that's why the BJP government at the centre is trying to expose one aspect. You've asked a question, sir. Now listen to the response, please. Now let Sanju Verma respond, and also the fact that why did ACB not inquire this despite the matter being referred to them in 2019 after the BJP complaint? Both those counts. Please respond.
Madhav, I have to admit that Sumnath Raman is doing a better job as an AAP spokesperson than some of the official spokespersons. Coming to the more important point, Madhav, this whole narrative, BJP डर गई है क्योंकि गुजरात के चुनाव आ रहे हैं. Let's be very honest. The fact is that last time in the Gujarat local body election, the Aam Aadmi Party won 27 seats in Surat. They lost their deposits in Gandhinagar. They lost deposits in Rajkot. They lost deposits in Ahmedabad. They lost deposits in Jamnagar. They lost deposits in Bhavnagar. So first and foremost, get idea out of your head that Aam Aadmi Party is serious competition to the BJP. Point number 2, it is not just the Central Vigilance Commission. It is also the Delhi High Court and the Lokayukta, which have taken cognizance of serious corruption with respect to building 207 classrooms, where instead of rupees 5 lakhs per classroom, classrooms were built at a cost of 28 lakhs per classroom. Point number 3, and most importantly, Arvind Kejriwal जो बार-बार कहते हैं, New York Times has spoken about Aam Aadmi Party's education model, the healthcare model. I want to ask you a simple question. Arvind Kejriwal, in 2015 at a rally in Ambedkar Nagar, Arvind Kejriwal said, मेरे सारे जो मंत्री हैं, मेरे जो टॉप के अधिकारी हैं, मैं आपसे वादा करता हूं, ये सब के सब इनके बच्चे हमारे दिल्ली के सरकारी स्कूलों में पढ़ेंगे. I want to pose a direct question, Madhav, on your show to Kejriwal. आपके कितने मंत्रियों के कितने बच्चे, आपके कितने टॉप अधिकारियों के बच्चे दिल्ली के सरकारी स्कूलों में आज पढ़ रहे हैं?
We have an AAP sympathizer on the panel. Akashdeep Buni is with us. Please respond to that, Akashdeep Buni.
Madhav, this AAP sympathizer, I would love to call as an educationist. First and foremost, we are talking about education. So I'll be going step by step. This model of BJP is all about rake up an issue, and then when the issue is answered, you will take up new issue. Madhav, remember the Ansar issue. I came into your panel and answered all the questions, and later Ansar was found to be a BJP person in your own channel. Second, remember the Kashmir migrant issue. I came here, answered all the questions, and these spokespersons specifically were talking about...
Let's please stick to education today. Let's please stick to education. The subject of our discussion is education. There's a pointed question that BJP has asked you. Please respond to that.
I'm coming to education. Now, coming to education, there has been spellbound change in education in Delhi. You take Shaktinagar, you take Malkaganj, you take Kamla Nagar. See, go and see the schools. And Sanju Verma ji, you are raising your hands, you can answer.
Why is it then, sir, that the CVC report says the number of classrooms built was less than what was promised? Why is it so?
There are a number of things the CVC will be telling. There will be an investigation. I want to say that...
No, there's already an investigation. It says that tender process have not been followed. It points to cost escalation. Mr. Muni, one second. Now listen to me. Now listen to me. Mr. Muni, one second. Don't just say there's a number of things CVC will be saying and brush it aside like it is a nobody. This is not some private detective agency. This is the CVC, the Central Vigilance Commission of India, and then CVC reports are printed. They are supposed to be acted upon by the Vigilance Department of the respective state government. That has not happened. And answer the charges one by one. Why was there a cost escalation? Why were the number of schools built not adequate? Why were the total number of toilets built more than was actually said to be? And also, why was the quality of construction poorer as the CVC report is saying? Can you answer any of these 4 questions, sir?
Sir, with all respect, I don't want to answer these all questions because after some
Why
days,
not?
The new questions will be raised because there has been a
Sir, this is a CVC report and you're saying you don't want to answer it. What kind of a debate are we having here? I am sticking to the facts of this report. Please counter these facts with facts if you have any. Or it means you have not come prepared for this debate. Because this has been in the public domain for 2.5 years. You are not prepared to even answer on a factual report. Say that these facts are wrong and counter me with facts, please. Please counter me with facts if you have any.
Okay, I'll be telling on facts. What is the budget of education in Bihar and what is the budget of education in Delhi? And one thing. Madhav,
what is it? Tell us. Give us the facts. Tell us what is the education.
No. I'll be telling you facts. After 3 years, this issue has been raised only because of there has been a substantial change in the electoral process in this country where Aam Aadmi Party has made a huge
Again, we're coming back to the same point, sir. I am raising points in this report. Please counter that 2.5-year-old report. If you still do not have enough research to counter this with facts, Mr. Muni, and you only are doing lip service, then I'm very sorry. You do not have any counter. You have not come prepared to this debate. But I'm going to go across to Karan Verma on one point. Karan Verma, and I must ask you this, because there are reports even of the Niti Aayog which have actually claimed that Delhi government schools have topped the list in 2020. The Niti Aayog has lauded what it calls landmark transformation of the government school system. There may have been other aspects of this entire education process or education system that would not have been up to mark. Maybe there are problems in the civic construction work. But if the Niti Aayog of the centre is lauding the Delhi government for its work, then certainly there is something they have done. Or is the Niti Aayog also wrong?
So, look, Madhav, even if the Niti Aayog has lauded some of their efforts, that doesn't mean that you subvert the general financial rules, CPWD work guidelines, and you do brazen corruption in the name of education model. The topic we are debating here today is that today AAP is caught red-handed in another case of corruption. They have so many skeletons in their cupboard piling up now. How is it that the sanction cost was 990 crores and without any tenders you end up spending 1315 crores and that too for 1800 less classrooms? I mean, can anyone answer here? And Mr. Suman is so grossly ignorant about this issue. It was Mr. Vijendra Gupta, the BJP leader of opposition in Delhi Assembly, who filed a complaint on 25th July 2019, which is what set this into motion. The CVC took cognizance of it and published this report and asked them in a stinging letter, which Delhi government hasn't replied for 2+ years. 17th Feb 2020, Delhi government was asked stinging questions. Why have they not answered? Truth is, they have no answers. Either they don't follow any guidelines, be it the excise guidelines in the liquor case or the guidelines here of CPWD work manuals, or there is brazen corruption which they know they have been caught for. So today AAP has answering to do. You can't hide under New York Times articles or even for that matter Niti Aayog reports. Corruption is corruption, period. You either answer for the irregularities or accept it.
Absolutely. And in fact, you know what is bizarre, Sumnath Raman, is that you are referring to an ACB reference despite the fact that the investigation has been done by CVC. Why are you ignoring the investigation that has been done and asking for an investigation that has not been done? I mean, that's absolutely bizarre mental acrobatics that you're doing over here.
No, one second. Madhav, I think the gentleman probably joined the show late because he says, I don't know about the case, and then repeats exactly what I said. I said in 2019 itself, this issue was brought to the fore. The centre has all the agencies.
No, we know what you said, but why are you referring to the ACB inquisition that has not happened and ignoring the CVC report that is there on the table?
The Delhi government for replies. No, Madhav, can I just butt in for a second?
Madhav, let me...
The Delhi government has been asked these questions.
Let me finish.
They have to answer. They are not answering from 2 years. Which is why now the LG has sought, why is there an inordinate delay by the Chief Secretary?
Prosecute them.
So they are proceeding. You can't cry vendetta. So they are proceeding as per the norm.
Please seize the files. No, sir. No. Please proceed. Please go ahead with more raids on Mr. Kejriwal, possibly more raids on Mr. Sisodia like last week.
So they are going ahead.
No, one second. Let me just come in here. One second. Sumnath Raman, one second. Let me just come in here. I'm not getting into what the agencies are doing. I am asking, sir, Mr. Sumnath Raman, please. There's a simple question I'm asking you over here. There's a simple question I'm asking you, and you've still not answered that. I began the show by asking you this. What justifies the 2.5-year delay of the file sitting on the table gathering dust? What justifies it?
Well, the Delhi government very clearly may feel that there is no merit in what the CVC has said. So let the government go ahead and prosecute the Delhi government.
I need to answer
Look,
that.
the very simple point.
Okay, there's no merit. There is no merit in what CVC has done. Therefore, we will sit on the file. Sanju Verma.
1 minute.
That's your claim. That's your claim. Now let's listen to the counter.
1 minute. I can give you 1 minute. 1 minute.
No, that's what you just said, sir.
I can give you 200 projects where the cost has escalated from what was projected. You're saying
Sir, CAG reports,
1,300 crores.
Sir, CAG reports. 1 second, Sumnath Raman, there's a pattern here. There's a pattern here. Let me just come in before I go across to Sanju Verma. 4 CAG reports that are not acted upon that gathered dust for 4 years. A CVC report, Sumnath Raman, that is gathering dust for 2.5 years. Is there a pattern here? I don't know. Sanju Verma, is there a pattern here? Simple question.
Every state has hundreds of CAG reports not acted upon. Every state has hundreds of CAG reports not acted upon.
Madhav.
Yeah. Sanju Verma.
Madhav, I have been on umpteen debates on your channel, and I find one very interesting common thread. Today the debate is about alleged corruption in Delhi's education model under Arvind Kejriwal. But Madhav, what are we discussing? We are actually discussing the integrity of the CVC. When there was a discussion on Partha Chatterjee, I remember even then some political analysts, including Mr. Sumnath Raman, rather than discussing a corrupt Partha Chatterjee, what were we discussing? We were discussing the integrity of the ED and the CBI. So the point is, Delhi High Court is wrong, Delhi Lokayukta is wrong, CVC is wrong, and also the Excise Commissioner is wrong. Manish Sisodia flouting the Excise Act of 2009, the Excise Rules of 2010, the Delhi Administration Act of 1966, the GNCTD Act of 1991, the Transaction of Business Rules of 1993. Madhav, 10 seconds. Speaking of education, unlike the others, I will not deflect from the topic. The topic today is education. Arvind Kejriwal has in a press conference last year said our average annual spend on education is 16,000 crores. Which means in the last 7 years, Kejriwal, according to his own analysis, has spent 1.12 lakh crores.
Okay.
Now tell me, after spending 1.12 lakh crores, why have you not opened 500 new schools but closed
Professor
down
Giri comes into the debate now. Professor Giri, there's the performance, the promise. There's a huge difference between that. Is what the BJP is essentially pointing out to. The number of schools, the number of classrooms, all have not been up to the mark. At least what was promised and on paper, that target has not been achieved. And what's more, it's of poorer quality, is what the CVC report says. Your response to that?
Yeah. Well, politics is about perspectives, politics is also about facts, but it is more about perspectives. Sanju Verma speaks by points. I see the point number 2 that she raised, why Kejriwal has not got so many seats as BJP did. See, forget that Kejriwal's party is 8-year-old and BJP has been 50-year-old party. So they are growing, forget about it. So they are not comparable at the moment. Yeah, it's a political slugfest in Delhi. We all know that. It's a dual government without a dual engine that BJP would like to have. So that is the main problem. You talk about the facts, let me give you a fact. You know, how was Rafale purchased? How many original, what was the original deal? When it was bought, the price escalated sky high and the numbers were reduced. No, hold on. No, you
Mr.
brought
Giri.
in, why did you bring in Partha Chatterjee? I am giving you an analogy. Why did you bring in Partha Chatterjee? Are we debating Partha Chatterjee? Sanju Verma, don't tell me how I should debate. Okay? There is an anchor who should guide. You may be a BJP spokesperson, don't monopolize the debate. I will respond to the anchor, Sanju Verma.
Okay,
Don't try
Professor
to,
Giri,
don't
stick
try
to the subject of education very quickly. We have a very limited time left. Professor Giri, respond to the questions asked, please. After education, after excise, I beg your pardon, now education, there are two departments of Manish Sisodia which are under the scanner of the Centre or of the LG.
Buses also.
Yes, that is true. There a lot of things are under scanner. Let it be investigated and found out. Finally, the battle will be fought in the People's Court.
Okay.
It is so corrupt, as Sanju Verma said.
Let me leave it. No, we are completely out of time. I'm sorry. I have to interrupt you, sir. We are completely out of time. Leave it to the People's Court is what Professor D.K. Giri says. Akashdeep Buni, Dr. Sumnath Raman, Karan Verma and Sanju Verma. Thank you so much for joining us on debate number 1 of the Newshour at 10 agenda.